Good afternoon, everybody. We're really excited for you to be joining us today at the Talent Pipeline Committee meeting for HILT. Today is January 25th, 2024. Happy New Year's to everyone. We were just talking about how the year has started off very quickly. I remember New Year's like it was just a few days ago, but it's already January 25th. So I say that because we have some exciting updates. We want to welcome all of our people today, but especially our HILT captains. We've got some great representation from our captains team, so thank you to our captains for joining. We're always excited. And then, of course, we've got some new faces and new people that are kind of joining today. I will encourage everyone to include your introductions into the group chat, include your name, your role, and your organization. And then one of the things that we do support at HILT is if you see someone on this call here who you want to reach out to, please feel free to message them directly. And then we do ask everyone to be kind of open to that. And if you want to exchange contacts and meet outside of this meeting, by all means. One of the benefits is, as we come together, we do have representation from Pierce, King, and Snohomish County. So it's a great way for us to be moving forward. So without further ado, I am sharing my screen as mentioned, and we want to start out by welcoming Angie Graves. Angie Graves is one of our HILT captains who actually has been part of HILT since its inception. And if you, I love this story, Angie. If you ever go to the HILT website, you'll see a picture of kind of some of the work that was done, 5 years ago or 5.5 years ago. Angie's in that picture. Uh,
Woo, famous.
well, yeah, you might not tell because it's kind of a back picture, but I
Right.
I
If
really
it looks like
enjoy
this, the back of my hand.
I really enjoy that story, Angie. I think it's really, really fun. So welcome, Angie.
Oh, thanks, James, and welcome everyone. We are just always so excited to get, folks into this room to talk about pipelines and talent in our healthcare community, in our Tri-County area. And, what is just amazing about this group and has been from its inception is it's really been that kind of that conduit of networking and, really being able to connect. And misery loves company. There is a little bit of that too, right? When it comes to not being able to find the right talent or as much talent as we need in Washington State. But really having all the voices in the room, everything from our educational partners, our other community groups, our, community healthcare organizations and large systems, healthcare systems, smaller hospitals, single standing clinics, just a variety of, anybody who's providing healthcare to our communities across Washington State. So welcome, super happy to be here and really excited to have everybody here. This particular committee obviously is a subgroup of HILT that is focused specifically on how what shared commitments can we put together and bring forward that all of our organizations can ultimately benefit from and that the state can benefit from and our communities can benefit from to ensure that we're building the right pipelines of talent. We're really ensuring that various new maybe pathways to talent are identified with each other. And then of course we always have the opportunity to do our larger event every year for high school and really trying to reach as early as possible into folks' mind as they're thinking about their future career and what those opportunities might look like, because they may or may not even realize all of the opportunities that are available in healthcare in this local area. So I'll stop there unless there's anything else you want to say, James, to just move forward. But we will just kind of revisit the purpose, as I was saying. This is really a free space, to all talk about and think through how we can solve these issues together. We all know Washington's an incredibly tight talent market in the healthcare space. Everything from, early, entry type careers, low barrier to hire positions, all the way up through, specialized work like behavioral health, nurse practitioner talent, physician talent, and everything in between. And the goal here, and hopefully what you're committing to by being part of the Talent Pipeline Committee, is to really just dive in, work with each other. Let's work together and really figure out from a real true action oriented, you know, mindset, what can we do? What plans can we put together to truly implement and build our pipelines of talent for these, highly critical roles that we have? All right. And then here's our charter. And the guiding principles that we have as we move forward, as a talent pipeline committee here as a part of HILT. Are we really are looking at, what are those new ways that we can build pipelines, as I've said. What are some differing audiences that we can get in front of to make sure that they are aware of all the great opportunities that all of our organizations are providing? So again, focusing on that middle high school audience where they're just starting to think about, what might I want to do? Maybe I don't want to go to college. Maybe I want to do something else. And really giving them the opportunity to see what those are. We really want to make sure that, it's our responsibility to build that interest, and frankly, just that making sure folks are educated and understand what that looks like. Our focus in HILT in general, and obviously for our talent pipeline community, are we ensuring that we are prioritizing our underserved student populations out there? We all know that patients want to be seen by providers that look like them. And it's an opportunity that we have in the Northwest in general. And here in Washington, we have a great opportunity to focus our efforts in that arena to help balance some of that we just don't see in a lot of our organizations. And then the data, and really making sure that, do we have measurable outcomes from this work? We all know we've all been part of projects where we're trying to make a difference and we're trying to move things forward, but then in the end, somehow there might have been a gap where, gosh, we really weren't able to track that, or our system didn't have the ability to track how many hires we got, or how much outreach we were able to accomplish. And so really making sure, as we are building out any of the work that we're doing in any of the programs, that we are building with that the ability, the tools and resources that we need to ensure that we're able to look back and say, okay, yes, we wanted to accomplish that, and this is what we were able to do from whatever the effort is. And then always making sure that, from a prioritization perspective, that we are looking at, what is some of the workforce data that's out there? What partners do we have in the community to ensure that we are truly focusing our efforts on the highest need areas across our organizations.
Fantastic. Thank you, Angie. And just
Yeah.
really, really welcome our comments from our HILT captain. Angie, well said. And we really are excited to start this new year. As you know, we have a good agenda here. We're going to start with welcome and introductions, and we've kind of done that. We are going to hear from the Talent Pipeline Committee overview and charter, in addition to some updates on the Sound Careers and Healthcare event. That's our big event that is happening in less than 2 months. Yeah, I mean, it always makes me go, oh, shoot, I kind of sit up a little bit straighter and kind of get my attention, as I can imagine some other folks have that same reaction. And then we have a call to action items as well. But before we kind of dive into, I do want to kind of introduce one of our newest members as well that comes into the fold, and it's Tatiana Torres. Tatiana, I'm going to go ahead and pass over the baton to you to give your introduction, and really we can dive right into the presentations after everyone kind of gets to know you a little bit better and learn a little bit more about your experiences. So Tatiana, please, welcome.
Thank you, James. Hi, everyone. My name is Tatiana. I actually just started for the Washington Alliance for Better Schools about 3 weeks ago, almost exactly. So I am brand new here. I come from a different nonprofit before this called Committee for Children. We worked in product development for social emotional learning curriculum. And prior to that, I actually worked in doing a lot of media advertising, marketing for iHeartMedia, Amazon, a couple other companies as well. So I'm very happy to join you guys here. I'm going to be I'm going to be one of the leaders here for the Talent Pipeline Committee as I move along here. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. So thank you. Um, did you want me to go over this one, James? Yeah.
Yes, this is the
Okay.
slide deck that we were working on together, and so
Yes.
you'll lead the presentation, and then
Yeah.
we'll pick it up for any additional comments that we can help support.
Okay, perfect. Yes. So the current initiatives that we have with the Talent Pipeline Committee, we do have the HILT video library full on YouTube. And so these are a bunch of videos that we have where healthcare professionals are sharing their career paths. Some of them have like some demonstrations of different procedures and stuff. We also have videos about the previous sound careers in healthcare events from years before. And then we also have the Speakers Bureau. So the Speakers Bureau here matches healthcare professionals to classrooms to talk about topics that are aligned with middle and high school curriculums. I'm going to have some updates for the Speakers Bureau a little bit further down within this presentation. And then we have the career event that you guys know about. And if you don't, Sound Careers in Healthcare. We are planning for the 2024 event going on right now. Lots of moving pieces going on. But as you guys know, that this is an event that sort of like opens up a pipeline for students who have, like those bigger barriers into education and stuff like that. So you're talking about BIPOC, low income, English second language, first generation. And what this event does is kind of, just open that door for them so that they can sort of like see what the possibilities are within this industry as well for them. And also, as they mentioned, so, to increase that representation, people want to see doctors that look like them. And so that's really important. And that event is going to be happening in, like James said, about 2 months. So, yeah. So for the video library, we currently have 107 videos there with about a little over 15 different healthcare fields that are represented. You guys can see it in the table that's right there. We currently have 39 subscribers as is, and a little over 3,700 total views. So I did just want to note that it doesn't capture if the video was viewed by more than one person or not. So we are working on like trying to figure out if we can get more precise data for that as we move forward here. And the average video length is about 36 minutes for all of these. And like I said, there's a ton on there, some really cool information. So, if you guys have any other specific fields in healthcare that we want to target for, a new set of videos, we are welcoming that feedback. So if you guys, feel free to message me as possible so we can work on that.
Yeah, and especially, I will say that in conversation with WOBS has really good connections with school districts, in Pierce, Snohomish, King, and Spokane. And so one of the things that we've been talking about recently are just kind of the different interests of students because they kind of keep evolving, right? I think they keep evolving because as more information becomes available, more opportunities for them to learn, more hands-on experiences, then students kind of keep diversifying their needs and wants professionally. So we have the little list here, or I say little, sorry, but this complete list here. But if there's other opportunities that you think are bubbling up that you see in your areas, by all means, please, reach out to Tatiana or myself. And I will ask Tatiana to maybe include her email in the group chat as well, if it wasn't done already, or you can find her email on the invitation as well. So definitely looking for that feedback from this committee. So as you continue hearing updates from students, we definitely want to keep including that into the YouTube videos.
Okay, and so for the video library, I see that some of you guys are sending me some chats. I will be answering them as soon as possible as we move forward through here. But I just wanted to give a couple updates on the video library. So um, the last time that we met, these are the top videos that have the most amount of views. And these are the amount of views that we have increased for each of these videos since November. I think it's actually a pretty good number, especially, when you look at the oral surgeon one, that's over 132 extra people that were taking, that were viewing that video, as well as, an additional 73 people that are, looking at the previous Sound Careers event for 2023. So they are increasing. That's a good news that we have. So people are watching these videos. And so it's really exciting for us to, maybe sort of be able to start including some more videos that cover more topics here to bring more people to the video library. And so you guys know that, we've had a lot of staffing changes and stuff here at WOPS, and so there hasn't been a massive amount of updates for either the video library or the speakers bureau that I'll be talking about right after this. But we are presented with a challenge and an opportunity when it comes to the video library, and that is obviously one of them being accurately capturing the number of views by video. So whose view? It's not just how many people are viewing it or how many times it's being viewed, but who are the people that are viewing it? Why are they viewing it, etc. And also looking out to see if we can report more video analytics for this, if there's any drop-off rates that happen in there. This is mostly just for us to kind of like see where we have the biggest opportunities for areas of improvement to increase engagement with this channel. And so we'll be working on that. And we do also have a video survey that we give out to the educators. And as you can see, it's pointed out in here that is present within the actual video caption when you go on YouTube. And so it's for educators to go in there, to say, like, hey, actually, this is what we would like to see more of.
Yeah, thank you, Tatiana. And then, when we think about the video library, is there any additional feedback from this committee or perhaps, on the videos themselves that people are more aware of or have been hearing more regarding, different occupations or anything that we can be gathering some information here? I'll just kind of open it up to the committee for comments or any additional, context with that. And I think especially for those organizations, because I will say we do have some new people here that kind of work with students as well. So, when we look at these areas, a lot of these here are kind of patient-facing roles. And one of the things that we are continue to learn is that in healthcare, there's a lot of other roles that are not patient-facing. So there's human resources, operations, building maintenance, lawn care, talent acquisition, strategic planning. I mean, IT, you can kind of continue thinking about all those other occupations as well. And those are things that we want to also include videos about, because as we keep, educating students on the opportunities for healthcare, they're not always going to be just, bedside per se, but really kind of expanding that out a little bit as well. So any additional comments on, kind of the primary fields that we're looking at, anything that you've heard of, in the field that you can kind of share here with this group? We're kind of open it up for comments. Okay, well, hearing none, just like I said, if you have any additional information, if you could share that with Tatiana and myself, that would be greatly appreciated. And so we will continue on, and we're moving on to the Speakers Bureau, and I'll hand it back over to Tatiana.
Yes. So as mentioned earlier, we've had those staffing changes that have been going on with the Speakers Bureau. So we don't actually have any updates since the last time that you guys met, which was back in November. We are still using the educator survey to collect feedback for this so that we can make this, a more seamless process for educators. And so also, connect them with better matches for different speakers and stuff. But, for those of you who maybe just want a little bit of background or context for this, for the 2022 to 2023 recap, we did have over 70 different speaking engagements. And over 2,000 students were reached for those, 80 of which were part of the BIPOC community. The really, really cool thing that I wanted to highlight about this is that all of the feedback that we got across all of the groups was 100% positive from both the students and the educators. So this is really exciting work that we have going on. And just in terms of what you guys can expect or what's next for this, my goal for this work is going to be to familiarize myself with the technology use that we have to match requests with speakers. And I will also be sending out messages to the school districts that we work with that this is an available resource for them to take advantage of. So that's the gist of that one.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we've seen kind of change in that is that obviously during COVID, everything was 100% remote and virtual. And now that students obviously and us are as well are kind of more in a hybrid working fashion, sometimes in person, sometimes virtual. I will say that, the requests that we're kind of looking at now are a lot of them are in person as well. So, if you are able to become a speaker or if you are talking with other organizations that need a speaker, a lot of times some of those things logistically to work out through are going to be the location, the time, and then ensuring that that speaker can either attend virtually or even in person. And I will say that we've been getting a few inquiries from other counties. Currently the HILT really supports mainly King, Pierce, and Snohomish, but even like in Kitsap County or even the Olympic side, or even Skagit, I mean, something a little bit further out, or even on the east side. I think in education, as we kind of have those educational partners, when they start kind of identifying a resource that's being used in one area, I think there's a lot of buy-in from other nearby organizational units as well. So definitely something to consider. But like I said, if you want to consider being a speaker, if you can talk on healthcare, and once again, there's those bedside occupations, but let's go even the non-bedside occupations. That's also information that could be there as well. When you fill out the speaker form, you're going to fill out your expertise, and then that is offered out to school districts and CBOs so that then they can see the list of topics that we can talk on. Any questions regarding the Speakers Bureau? Okay. And I'll ask Abby. I don't know if we worked on this yet, but Abby, if you could monitor the chat box, that'd be appreciated. And then if anything comes up, because I won't monitor the chat box, just kind of feel free to just chime in as needed. Thank you, Abby.
Okay.
So this is just a video of last year's event for 2023. And so James, I know that I want to be cognizant of time here. So it is just about 6 minutes. So I just don't know if we have time to view the whole video, but we did have this here just in case anybody did want to take a look at it. It is a really wonderful video. And yeah, so James, I'm gonna leave that call up to you.
Okay, let me go ahead and include my volume. I'm gonna share my sound. Yep, got it.
Okay, James, before we start the video, people were just asking about the form. I don't know if it's already been
Yeah, sure. What's the
the
question?
form. Just about what you guys were talking about before, I
The
believe.
Speakers Bureau?
Hmm.
Uh,
I mean, Christina's been answering questions.
oh,
But
okay.
yeah, it's saying where do we find the form, link to the form, question mark.
And which form? I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding that. Would that be to the Speakers Bureau or
Yes,
to?
please.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
please.
Gotcha. Got it.
Thank
Okay. Yeah, we can go ahead and include that. After this meeting, we'll send out the slide deck and we can include that link to that form. Just out of reference, it is also on the HILT website. On the HILT website, there's the student experience package, and in that is the form, but we will definitely include that into the message out to everybody. Thanks for that question. Appreciate that, Stacy. And Tatiana, I don't know if the link is live here. Just in the
Oh,
context of, and it might be because I downloaded it on a PowerPoint.
oh, that
And
might be
that
why.
might be
Yeah.
why. Yeah,
Okay, hold
so
on just one second.
okay. But yeah, if you haven't taken a look yet, the 2023 video, it was in collaboration with University of Washington. They have a student, production group that do it ad hoc. And so they definitely provided a great service for us, and they went ahead and did that for us. It looks like Abby kind of included the link for the Speakers Bureau. Thank you, Abby, for that. And then also, if you haven't looked at that area as well, there is also a link for that video as well. That is this video here. So we can go ahead and look at that as well.
And James, sorry again. Is there a website? Just because I was kind of noticing this too on the HILT website. A lot of the stuff. So one of the questions: where can we find the website for this year's virtual event for the Sound Careers in Healthcare? Only 2022 is able to be found. So like, just in terms of like, how do we find like what's going on? Like, is there a website essentially for what like this event or 2020? That kind of thing.
Do you mean on how to volunteer for this event?
No, like did we create a special uh link or page within HILT that gives all the details around the
Mm-hmm.
sound careers in healthcare for this year?
Mm-hmm.
Denise, I feel like I queued you up a little bit, but I was just talking with our Seattle Jobs Initiative communications person, and we're going to be working on that this week, so it should be up by tomorrow.
Okay.
On that will be kind of that special area that can include more information. We were trying to figure out like a little bit, one of the discussion parts was, the question was, does it live on WOB's website? Does it live on SJI? Does it live on Kaiser? And really, one of the interesting parts is it was more related to social media. This event is a little bit closed in the context that it's really offered out to Pierce, King, and Snohomish high schools, and then the volunteers and kind of the people working the hands-on. It's really kind of part of the partnership with HILT and University of Washington. So that's where we were a little bit in debate, because I think we get a lot of feedback that says, hey, let's advertise this on social media. And while that would work out really well, it is kind of a little bit of a closed audience that we're kind of doing. But we definitely will get that up on I think we landed on the HILT website. So thank you for that. Tatiana, was there anything else that you were wanting to do with the video?
Nope. I mean, I put the link in there, so if you want to show the video, the link is in there. But if not, it is available for everybody to look on their own time. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you for that.
Of course.
Great. So I'm going to I'm gonna put a page right on top of this page, and let me know, can you see the new YouTube video page? Yeah,
yes.
Perfect. All right.
Yes.
So we can kind of do that here.
I think the hands-on career is really fun. In that order, you have the surgeon's tool. They'll teach you how to use medical equipment. You can strike up a conversation, ask them what to do, ask them how they got there. Lots of networking opportunities. It's just a wide field, and you learn a lot.
I don't have any interest yet, but I am looking for a career for my future. This event inspired me to help another people with medicine, maybe in dental or X-ray. It showed me like a lot of opportunities of like programs that I can take, or like summer camps that would help me like learn more about subjects that I'm interested in. And I think that was really helpful because like it shows me the next step. Woman who was like running the stand, she like just seemed really like passionate, and she was talking about her job, and like I hope that one day like I find a job that makes me like that excited to talk about it.
The joy of the students' faces, you did your job when they were walking around, and all you hear is wow and cool and yelling out and high-fiving our friends like, that's fire,
And we're just very excited to be able to do this and to watch our students go from one program to the next and see them actually graduate and become a physician or a healthcare provider in another field, or doing what they love. And that's really what gives us joy, is being able to provide them those opportunities that we didn't have.
Oh, I saw this is my first time seeing her, asking the nurses questions, and then like they were answering my question. And I think it will help me in the future though. Me being as a Black woman surgeon, being in front of them, letting them know that we are here, we have a place to address the health needs and health inequities that our communities face. If they go into medicine or not, just knowing that the possibilities for their future, that we've done our job.
We're going to find better care for our communities because we're increasing the number of not diverse individuals in the health professions. And I really appreciate the opportunity for so many of us from different parts of the healthcare industry to come together and really paint that picture of how expansive and how varied the opportunities are in healthcare. We need the talent, right? We need people who are bringing new energy and new excitement and new perspectives to join us in the industries. It almost didn't seem possible in my mind that that was really going to happen, and it really did. And I hope that students will, talk with each other, talk with teachers, talk with others in their communities about the opportunities, that maybe there's a next step for them.
Welcome to the 2023 Sound Careers in Healthcare live stream event. where it will be an interactive healthcare scenario with a exploration into healthcare. We have a few questions coming in, and it's really about surgery.
I got the chance to ask the questions that I had to someone who actually had experience. And I really liked the way she explained everything, and I think that really inspired me because I also want to be a surgeon.
Having still technology to feed their questions told me that they were engaged, they were listening, and there was interest in the field. And so we were still able to convey what we needed to convey to the audience broadly. I thought it was very rich discussion and a great starting point for a student to know, okay, I think I can do this.
All right, here we go. We're getting ready for the questions.
This would be my first time. Didn't really have any like prior stuff. I didn't realize like the different kind of perspectives. I didn't think of like the medical career as like having a wide range of ideas of like community, like pursuing like the same fields in their own groups and with people they know and work with. And I'm starting to realize how valuable connections are with planning my future. So yeah.
It seems like a warm place to like, an enjoyable place to work at. During the panel, one of the speakers said that we meet patients where they're at the weakest point in their life. We're there to provide the care they need, and that's what gives you joy as a medical professional. And I certainly want to do that too. Adjust my mind to be like patient-centered rather than just like knowledge. And it's just more about me caring about the people.
I feel like our students reach out a lot for the opportunity, but a lot of times we don't end up having an actual match where the student is. I think we have a lack of communication between the industry and the school level of the reality of the students and their barriers based on geographical location or transportation or time. And at the event, and it just sounded like a perfect fit for my students.
I think it's important that as an employer that we bring that attention to our up and coming generation that hadn't maybe considered possibly health care, that they have a different point of view after having attended one or two of these Sound Career in Healthcare events. I am really, really hopeful and that we are going to have a strong pipeline coming forward.
We look forward to seeing you in our workforce soon. If you have a utility,
I don't know about you, but I get all excited when I see that video. It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. It makes me thrilled again, and I get very, very enlightened by it. And I just wanted to mention a few of those stars that you saw. You saw Denise kind of up there talking with the the producer and sharing her insights. You saw Marita there kind of participating in that panel, and then you saw Nora giving her insights with education. And so, we want to really applaud everybody, and this takes everybody. It doesn't just take us 5 or us 6 or us 10. It takes 100+ people, and you are part of those people. You are part of that ecosystem. And one of the things that I was really noted on there was the comment by the educator. She said sometimes there's a lack of communication or connection between industry and students, and that's the goal of this, right? To really kind of bridge that part. I'll kind of open it up for other reflections on the video. What other thoughts kind of come to mind when we watch this video? What are those? What emotions are evoked? What ideas do you have? I mean, what other comments can we add for that?
Well, James, I put a comment in there that was a great video. I also got the good feelies out of that video. And I love seeing Nora and Dr. Estelle. I mean, I just think that's just, Dr. Estelle is so she's just a perfect person to represent both her and Nora. And I didn't realize that they were such a big part of that video. So I thought that was cool. I saw some of our federally qualified health centers in there representing Health Point. Yeah, I think I saw Providence in there. I'm not sure. But yeah, anyway, it's just such a great event. And I think, wasn't it over 500? Wasn't it most like 800 last year?
Well, so I think that's in combination with day 1 and day 2.
Okay.
At the live event, you're exactly right. It was about 518, and then at the virtual event, which was titled day 2, there was an additional 300.
Yeah, and I think that is a lot of lives to impact in one 2-day event. So kudos, and I'm excited to be part of it this year because I didn't get to
Right.
last year. So
All right, Pat. What other reflections do we have? And I'll call out on some of the people that were highlighted in the video, like Nora and Denise and Marita. I mean, you were there, and there was other people that were there as well. What kind of things are happening at this event? What can we share with this group to get excited about the upcoming event?
Well, as a sign holder with on day one, that was a lot of fun. It allowed me to be able to speak directly with the students. So if I saw them a little detached or, they weren't engaging and they took a pause, I took a pause to check in to see how they were taking it all in, their thoughts, and if they thought that this was inspiring them to choose a career in healthcare. So having that one-on-one time with them and the volunteer space to do that was really enlightening.
Terrific. Thank you, Denise.
James, I can share. First, it was such an honor to be on the panel with Denise, who's a pro. And it was my first year and I didn't even really understand, but I walk into this room and there's like lights, camera, action. And so I panicked, but it was super fun. And I think being at the event and just seeing the excitement of the students that were there, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it because you've seen students at field trips in the past and they're like interested, but for this it was like they just could not wait to get to the next table and the next table and the next table. And I saw so many just watching that they were making sure that they got to each station and got the most out of the experience that they could. And you didn't see like kids just standing around talking. They were really interacting with the different stations. And so I really enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Nora, I don't know if you could see, but I'm kind of looking at you a little bit. You're the University of Washington representative, which is, one of our key partners in this event. And we hosted it last year at UW. We're hosting it again this year at UW, which we're very excited. Nora, do you have any additional comments from your perspective? Because you were on the video and you said some awesome things from the video as well.
Yeah, I think that if you love working with youth, it's just the pinnacle of what you do, the work that you do. It's pretty exciting. It was a dull roar all day long, and just a bunch of chatter from the students. And even though you leave exhausted by the end of the day, it's a good exhaustion because I think they do really enjoy the day. And because of that, you enjoyed it as well. And I think you do have an impact. You don't see it for a while, but you hope that you do, that we see them later on in our medical schools or in our health professions. But we do have that impact of when they get to enjoy those hands-on activities, you do inspire them. And I will tell you, you do, because we had our doctor for a day followed a couple of weeks later. And we had our largest doctor for a day that year. We had like over 250 people sign up. And we're like, what do? We don't have space. And we can say it was probably as a result of this event. So you did have an impact from having that event in the hub last year.
Wow, I did not know
Yeah,
that. Wow,
yeah, we were really nervous because we didn't know what we were going to do with our faculty were really nervous about it as well. So it was because of that. You got them all excited about it.
All right. Well, as you can tell, it was a group effort for sure. And Pat, you're exactly right. That's a great problem to have, something that we can talk about later. And Lise, really thank you for your support as well. The video just kind of gives a good highlight of that. And we're going to be partnering with UW's, video production group again. And they're going to provide that service to us once again for the 2024 event. And just out of context, so we did have a day one, as you saw the video, with everybody there in person. And then the day two is that virtual streaming event. We're still doing the same kind of format this year. what we're doing is we had a case study that was developed at Kaiser Permanente, and they hosted us all day. We did filming and video, and Joe's mom was was the patient all day. She did a great job, and so reusing that video and that case study for the day 2 virtual event. The only difference this time is that virtual event will be on Zoom. And so once again, that gives that opportunity for students to engage at that level of kind of conversing with the case study, and then also that gaming event. And then we'll have that panel discussion at the end again, kind of doing that. So hopefully we have just as large of an impact. And I will say, just with conversations with Wobbs has even shared with me that there's still so much interest in high school students entering the healthcare field. I mean, and I say that more because with COVID, I always thought that people would have more concerns or be a little more leery in entering the field. People are still just as passionate about helping other people, and I feel like it's one of the good things that we do here. So yeah, so thank you, Christina, for including the volunteer form. As you can see, they're in the group chat. There, if you are interested and able to sign up to volunteer, that'd be fantastic. There's a few different areas to volunteer. You can either be part of the hands-on activities if you're part of that medical, expertise or teaching. You could be part of the tabling, where you're offering some of those programs or training opportunities for our students. Or you could be there for logistics and meals and tours, as you kind of saw. So it does require everybody. And one of the asks that we do have today is for you to share that volunteer form with everybody in your organization, because once again, this event is coming up real fast. And so we need to increase those volunteer numbers for sure. So we'll go ahead and continue on, but thank you to everybody for all the great comments. Really appreciate that work. And it does take a group effort here. We are now with Career Event 2024 updates. I'll hand it over back to Tatiana.
Yes. So as some of you guys may know, the event happening this year is in March. It is going to be March 21st. It will be happening from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the UW Husky Union Building. We've just been calling it the Hub, obviously. However, I did just want to make a distinction that volunteers are going to be expected to be on site, but probably by 7 a.m. and up until like 2, maybe even 3 p.m. But the 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. timeline is going to be for students and schools to show up. We have a virtual event, which is going to be the week following that, and that's going to be on the 28th, also a Thursday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Last year, we did have it actually until 12, but we did receive some feedback that it was just like a little bit too long for some of the students, and they kind of sort of fell off, or started to feel a little bit overwhelmed after that amount of time, and so we did shorten it by about 30 minutes just to address some of that. The event theme this year is Imagine a Career in Healthcare. Once I'm done going through all these updates, I would love to open this up for discussion in case anybody has any feedback into how we can better incorporate that theme or highlight it a little bit more. So if you guys have any ideas, there will be welcome. We have contacted 9 different school districts for their student invitations. The confirmation deadline for those school districts is going to be February 9th. We're also working right now with the UW Medicine Doctor for a Day program to provide hands-on activities. So I've already gotten feedback, or I've already gotten in touch with a couple of the contacts for the occupational activities. We have some pretty exciting things in the works, and there's going to be some new activities that were not available last year for some of the different fields, and so that's going to be fun. And we, as Christina mentioned, we are still recruiting volunteers and financial sponsorships, so please spread the word on that as much as possible. So with that being said, as mentioned, I did want to open up the floor just in case you guys have any ideas about the theme, any suggestions for how to better highlight it or incorporate it more.
Yeah, one of the things that we have done at Sound Careers in Healthcare, and even just from the HILT perspective, is the more that we can get young people to envision the future, right? The more that they can say, what kind of job do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want? And I'll even go so far that some of this philosophy, it's appreciative inquiry based from my lens. And it's really, if you can get a young person to really start thinking about their future, where do you live? Where do you work? How do you get to work? What are you wearing? Who are the people around you? What vacations do you take? the more that they can kind of formulate those ideas, the more likely they are to understand how to get there. The other part with appreciative inquiry in this philosophy, when we think about imagine, it's that imagining part, right? Imagine yourself in the healthcare field. Imagine yourself completing that training and really getting that job that you want. Because if a student can dream it, we can help get them there, with that support. So we're opening it up, as Tatiana said, with that imagining part. What other good things can we fold into this imagine? Because when you were younger, I imagine that you imagined your future, or else you wouldn't be here and how you got here. What are some things that we think are tangible offers for us to get to students? Some of the things that we've been brainstorming about are, the way that we talk with students, right? So when we're there engaging with students, really trying to, when you finish high school, I can imagine you being a really good student, or I can imagine you, going towards those goals that you want. We are embedding some of those ideas. So I'll kind of leave it open for the committee here to give us some more input on the imagine theme. Pat, I love your reactions because it looks like you're thinking. I love it. Yeah, Denise.
Lisa had her hand up first.
Oh yeah, sure, Lise.
Oh, thanks, Denise. Um, we are in the middle of our cohort, and one of the things that we do to sort of inspire that imagination and help people find a guidepost in their job search is we have a very simple diagram of a shield or something like that they can carry with them. And we ask them to find 4 things they value personally. We supply a list to jumpstart that idea brainstorming. But something tangible that they could take home. People have told me that they come back to that later. They see it later. It reminds them. Maybe there's a way to make it like a digital thing, given, Gen Z and younger, but just an idea.
Yeah, could you do you have something to share with us? I mean, not in this meeting, but something you could send to Tatiana and myself?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, thank you for that. No, that's a really good idea. I love that people refer back to it. Thank you. Yeah, Denise?
Yeah, I don't have a solution for my suggestion. But I can tell you it's powerful.
Okay.
And I don't know if UW did this with their Doctors for a Day, but when it started, they were having like the Doctors for a Day with the African American young men that were attending. They put them in white coats, and that transformed that imagination because now they're wearing the coat, right? So it's just something extremely powerful. Not everybody's because this is such a variety of different things, they're not all coming to be doctors, they're not all coming to be nurses, so it's really tough. So this is why I don't have a solution, because it's really tough because they're coming to spark an interest in a variety of different things. But that was powerful for doctor for a day, right? Came with putting on the white coat. And so I'm saying it out loud just in case it sparks an idea for someone else on the call that can think of something. We had thought about giving scrubs away, but they wouldn't be necessarily wearing scrubs on the day of the event. So I don't know if that really makes any difference. But that was something that came about in another conversation last year around, that part of the giveaway was scrubs.
Yeah, as you were talking, I was envisioning that, students come, I can't remember if students come with their badge or not, but for us to have like a sticker and they can write whatever profession that they are in healthcare, right? So person could have, surgeon or lab technician or, nurse or something of that nature, because then we would see already visually, as the people that are working the event, what their profession goal was. So I think that's a great idea. I love it. Well, of course it's my idea, so I love it. But I'm just saying
No,
that
I like that too.
I mean,
That's a great alternative. I
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
but
Hmm.
it could just be me in my head. But I think that fits right along with the imagine.
Denise, I absolutely loved that because in my head, when James was thinking about like you said imagine a couple times, I'm thinking, okay, as a young person, as a high schooler, like, right, I can't go back to those days. I think I think I would have loved that. Like I would have loved to put the coat on and walk around, because there is something about dressing for success or dressing for the role that really does make I mean, everybody's experienced it where they put a uniform on or a prom dress on or, a white coat, and it just transforms you into like, hey, I'm going to play this role this may not be me today, but it is. So I love this idea, and I like the idea for scrubs. I was just thinking of like, as James was saying that, like, maybe just like even a corner to dress up, and wear the different scrubs, try them on and get pictures in them.
Oh,
Just instead of giving the scrubs out, but just kind of have opportunities to wear the different clothing or the different scrubs, the different white coats. I'm just thinking about the only hiccup with that is, of course, cleanliness issues, or you can't all put on the same clothes and stuff. So, but yeah, I like the idea of like dress up, because young people love to do that, wherever they're at, and then have a picture in that, and it could be as fun as they want it to be, or it could be as serious as they want it to be. I was gonna say, I thought I saw dead photos there in a minute. It's like, what? That took a icky turn. But yeah, just thinking along those lines, I love the idea.
Or stethoscope name badges or something. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know, but that's a great idea too. We could think through that on the committee, but that's what it's all about. Is just sparking an idea from an idea and keep pulling on that thread.
We could do that. We have our table that where we have our enrichment programs. We did that last year, but we could probably bring our banner, which has a list of health professions, our 6 health profession schools. And we generally have our Doctor for a Day students put on one of the white coats and with the stethoscope around their neck. And we usually use a Polaroid camera, but we could just have them use their cell phone so they take that with them, or they can do it with their friends too. So yeah, we can bring some wipes with us, some alcohol wipes.
Awesome.
But they just put it around their necks. They don't put it in their ears, but just around their necks.
Yeah.
That's generally what we do with Doctor for a Day. So we could do that at our table so it's not crowded. And
Perfect.
So
I think that's awesome. Yeah. Great ideas, everybody. I'm like, see, there's that imagine part. And I really like the fact that we're trying to put those students into those thoughts, because that's really where I think it starts. In the process of creation, if you can think it, say it, you will do it. And that's kind of the way that we start. So I really appreciate that from everybody. Thank you.
And I also put in there like healthcare heroes. So we often talk about our athletes as being heroes, but what about, stickers with, Dr. Estelle Williams really is a hero. We all think that she's amazing at UW Medicine. I mean, she's a fantastic speaker. She's very inspiring if anybody's ever heard her speak. And, she can say like 3 syllables and people know that she's inspiring. But, if you just had like stickers of some of these healthcare heroes and what they do, like a nurse, or even if we had like a journal and they collected stickers of these people from different professions and had these, a little bit about them and what they do, we could start thinking in that direction too, about these people in these professions and what they're doing, and call it healthcare heroes.
I like that a lot. I really do. Yeah. Thanks, Nora.
I'm wondering if we have any patient simulation tables at all. Do we have anything like that where they can get an idea of what it's like to treat a patient as well?
We have been looking into it, and one of the things that we're having challenges with, and I assume, Pat, you're talking about those that are kind of, there's a mannequin, and then, there's CPR, but then there's the mannequin that you can kind of have react to.
Yeah, like the CNAs use now in some of the higher ed opportunities. They actually, you can take their blood pressure and their heart rate and things like that. They're actually simulation mannequins.
Yes, simulation mannequins. We did put a few feelers out to an organization and also to UW, but I've not learned much about portable simulation mannequins. That's a pretty unique thing, but I think more I'll say the regular mannequins that don't have all that technology.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious about that. Another thing, and this is off the subject of Imagine, but one of the things that I've done in my just at my AHEC table is wristbands that have really cool, fun things on them. They're just the rubber wristbands, and they say like #healthcare or I'm what awesome looks like. And I will say those bands are a great way to use for like tracking students. Like, if you're like you're in the pink section or you're in the green section, then you go by your band and it has something fun to say, and it's a nice takeaway as well. So just wanted to they've always gone over well. In fact, I usually get adults saying, "Can I have a couple of those?" So just a show.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat. Really appreciate those suggestions. As you can see, one idea bounces into another, creates another. I mean, it just kind of keeps going. And I'm looking at this audience here, and I can see more wheels turning. So really appreciate that. Nora said, has anyone reached out to American Heart Association? So you're saying that they might be able to help with blood pressure, like teachings, or what can you expand on that, Nora, just a little bit?
Yeah, they are coming to our next Doctor for a Day event. They're helping us with that, with blood pressure cuffs. So they may be able to help with, some activities. Even, I'm not sure what they could help with, but they could probably help with some activities. I know that they're probably going to give out cards with blood pressures on the cards at our event, but there may be some opportunities there. Potentially.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you, Julie, for Zach's comment there. I'm just copying that for Zach Eastwood, and a portable ambulance. Great, fantastic. Thank you. And then I did want to mention Connie's comment about, it says Washington High School students. You're exactly right, Connie. It is a little bit closed, but I think in that fashion, and not that I'm trying to justify it at all, that marketing material is only sent out to the schools that are invited. So I think that is to those 3 counties that are invited for the flyers. Yeah, anything else with the comments? I'm trying to monitor the comments as well. Abby, anything else that you're seeing in the comments that we need to kind of talk about?
No, I think everything's kind of been addressed. I did want to call out Rita's suggestion about what about a station that makes badges with their name and a title of the future role they're interested in to take home with them? And then you get what you focus on. So I just thought I think just going back to like the stethoscope, Doctor for a Day, like that conversation, I thought that idea was really interesting. But other than that, I feel like everything else was addressed.
Terrific. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
James,
Yeah.
I'll bring up one more thing just in case I miss an opportunity, given that we're getting closer,
Sure.
is that in the video, you might have paid attention to where the students were sitting down at a table around all the activity that was happening in that room. So those are individuals that made it through all the stations and had downtime and they just found a table to sit at. That's downtime wasted that we can engage them while they're sitting there. So maybe there can be a play off the theme at that table so that they're still talking to one another, maybe about what they learned or something. But take advantage of that table space that they're sitting at um, to tie back into an activity.
Right. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. One of the other things that we're doing in this particular event, and it has to do with some of the feedback and goals that we want students to have, is identifying their next steps, right? So one of the ideas, and we do have someone already creating it, it's a postcard, and on the postcard, a student would send it to themselves. And it says, something of the effect of my next 5 steps are, and they write them out, and then they sign it saying that they agree that they're going to do those next 5 steps, and then we're going to take those and probably wait about maybe 4 weeks and then bulk mail them all out on those postcards. So then students get that reminder to themselves. So that was something that we're creating as well. And then the other idea was on that postcard to list a website where one of the other things that we learned was that not only students identifying their next steps, but also having a repository so that all these, training programs, other opportunities that students might be interested, where we can house that. And so the idea was twofold. One was to create like a web page or a Google Doc or something of that nature, list that web Google Doc on that postcard, and then probably have it up for maybe 6 months afterwards. I mean, we could think about maybe just having it ongoing, but the idea was that students would be able to still go back and find those resources that they would, but they would be an electronic version, from that as well. So that was another idea that we pulled from this committee in addition. So Julie said, can we get a list of who the school contacts are? Set on a few advisory committees and want to let them know who at the district authority can reach out. I'll let Wobbs kind of identify that question or respond to that one.
Yeah, I responded to her already. I can send you that information over email. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Sure. Yeah, Nora, thank you. Yeah, sounds like a good. So I think, as we continue on doing these events, I think we're kind of slowly making strides in some of this effort, not only to engage the students, but what to do after the event. There's a lot of moving pieces with that. And I will just I'll call it out later, but it's that ongoing conversation that really helps a lot. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for all those comments. We'll go on to the next slide here, just because it's already 4:06 and we want to respect everybody's time and hopefully, we'll get done. But great ideas, really inspired by all this. I get very excited when I hear all these great ideas, and they definitely get me thinking about that. I'll turn it back over to Tatiana to talk about the flyers.
Yep. So I just wanted to give you guys a preview of what some of the marketing materials look like. And so these are the flyers that we have, one for both the in-person and the virtual event, and these have gone out to the individual school districts that we have reached out to. So it's, just so you guys can get a feel for, colors, themes, etc. And we would imagine that any other marketing materials or collateral that we get created would be kind of like in the same vein as this.
Thank you.
And this one is me as well. So we did have some updates for the 2024 event planning work group. We had a half-day planning meeting on January 8th, in which we did a DEI workshop. All members of the planning committee that were in attendance participated in this workshop with us. And also, I just wanted to highlight that I did include the subcommittees and all of the members and who's leading those subcommittees in this slide as well, just so that you guys have that reference for you. But the DEI workshop was led by Dr. Randy Nunez. He is the VP of Student and Family Engagement here at Wobbs. It was an excellent DEI workshop. And the reason that we actually had this is because given, just like the theme of the event and what the purpose and goal of this organization is, we wanted to highlight and focus on equity as we plan out this year's event, and also just kind of like make that, weave that into the fabric of the general, planning moving forward for all of the events that we have. We have some new developments within for this year's event. One of them includes the event playbook, which is, James, you are welcome to jump in and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I believe it is kind of like a step-by-step sort of like manual or guide for the students that are attending this, so that takes them through the event as well. And then we also have flight plans that all of our subcommittees submitted to us that highlight all of the work that they're doing and what responsibilities and roles that they're playing within this. As far as 2024 event changes go, we have a couple big exciting ones happening. So we are currently reconfiguring the event space for better flow. We did get some feedback last year. One of that mentioned, a couple issues that some people ran into just in terms of flow. One of them was we had a huge bottleneck for students and the volunteers when it came to check-in. So we're creating separate spaces for each of those with different entrances to remove some of that. There was also a lot of feedback given about how, a lot of students felt that they didn't have when it came to lunch, the students didn't really have any kind of like designated area where they could just sit and enjoy those lunches. So we are hoping to address that as well with just some of the different spaces that we're renting out within the hub. And we are adding sports medicine as one of the activities. So that's going to be really exciting. That was something that was requested by quite a few students and other schools. And the last update that we have, which I'm actually pretty excited about, is a reflection of prayer space that we're adding. This event is happening during Ramadan. We are going to have a lot of students that are probably going to be observing Ramadan as well. So we wanted to have an area for them to go and be able to pray and reflect or whatever they need to do during the event as well. So yep, there's that.
Yeah, and just to kind of keep bouncing off of Tatiana a little bit, so that event playbook, one of the goals of the event was to hopefully make it something easy that other organizations, whether in this area or outside of the area or even outside of the state, honestly, if anybody else wanted to duplicate this type of event, we're kind of creating a playbook that would be an open source that we would give out to other organizations. There was even ideas that maybe even after this, let's talk about kind of next year, with that virtual event, the day 2, that we would kind of create some opportunities so that people could also check out those videos as well and kind of have their own, event within themselves. So it was a way to kind of keep supporting outside of just kind of our smaller ecosystem and really try to offer those services for external partners, even outside HILT or even within HILT, but really trying to do that. So Johnny Jong, who you see the Sound Careers in 24 playbook, he's leading up that effort and really trying to make it so that it chronologically outlines the work that we started with, what meetings we're having, what conversations, what needs do we have, and then really kind of some of those outcomes to include surveys and also the follow-up documents that we talked about. So very exciting, lots of different things. We really are trying to be more student-centric in that and really trying to offer that support as ongoing as well. Just want to thank the planning group, work groups here. These are the people that have been kind of there at the meetings, dedicated to help with those flight plans. And the flight plans really is, I know we use flight plans as a fancy name, but it's really just our to-do list. It's just all those things that we just want to make sure that we're documenting because we don't want to miss anything that's important with that. So really, really want to say congratulations and thank you to our committee. They've been working really hard. And then, just to mention that DEI workshop, as we enter this space into this kind of work, it's something that's one of the core foundations of the HILT network is to really look at it through that lens to make sure that we're offering the appropriate services to students to ensure that everyone has equal access to the industry. So thank you to everyone for that.
And we do have a small call to action to you guys. I know that we have said this probably like 500 times during this call, but we need more volunteers. So please, please, please reach out to your organizations, all of your networks. When James sends out the email that will have the slide deck, I will include the link to the volunteer interest forms that we have in there. We are also in need of some more financial sponsorships. This is a big event, and the more sponsorships we can get, the more that we can offer the students at these events. So please let us know if your organization can be a financial sponsor, and if you have any questions about our sponsorship tiers, that information is also going to be linked within that email that James is going to send out.
Yeah, and I'll just highlight the financial support as well. We've had some people from this meeting here who have stepped up and offered some of those financial contributions, and thank you for that. This event, overall, when you think about the event, it's roughly around $30,000 to put on this kind of event. A bulk part of that not only is the event space at UW, although we do get it as a significant discount, and that's through our partnership with Nora and her department. So thank you, Nora, for that partnership, because that's how we get some of those deep discounts. The big factor whenever you're involving students is going to be food. Food. Students are hungry, students like to eat, and even after they eat, they're still hungry. So the food part, as you know, with any event, is going to probably be one of your largest expenses. So it's just helping cover some of those, needed expenses with that. So if you have any opportunities at all for us to either apply for funding or request funding from your organization, please don't hesitate to let Tatiana and me know regarding who we should contact with that. So thank you, everybody. Any questions with this part?
James, there is a question in the chat. from Betsy about have we explored getting the food donated?
Yeah, great question. One of the things that we just got alerted about was Costco. We just received a Costco application and looking at some of those, because one of the other things, in addition to the lunch, we provide snacks to students. And once again, when you think of all those snacks, I mean, it's a lot, and not only to the students, but to the volunteers. So we've been looking for, we're going to be submitting a Costco application for that as well. And then regarding the food donation, I know right now we're working with that same producer of the food as last year. So I forget the cost per sandwich, but it was pretty nominal compared to others. But that was definitely a contribution as well from that organization. So yeah, so yes, on the snacks and water and coffee, yes, we are looking to get some of those items donated. Thank you. Okay, kind of going through some HILT announcements. We're already at the tail end. If you're not part of it, we do have a LinkedIn group. It is the Health Industry Leadership LinkedIn group. What's great about that is that you can you can submit any of your information on your programs. We do kind of keep some weekly updates on other things that are happening in the healthcare ecosystem. It is through my LinkedIn, my personal LinkedIn, and if you become friends with me, if we're not friends already or connected, then you can just join that group for free. There's no real management as far as people uploading any kind of additional information. We do have some exciting updates coming up for the spring as well. So it's a great place to stay tuned. The reason we developed this LinkedIn group was so that we were not acting as a bottleneck to sharing information. We really want this to be kind of a fluid way for other people and organizations and training programs and educators to really share some of those updates easily. So please, if you've not joined that LinkedIn group, I'm going to ask everyone to do that soon. And once again, you can just become friends with me on LinkedIn or connected, and then it's right there. You can join that group as well. So want to welcome everybody to that. We're in quarter 1. We've got some great HILT meetings. As you know, out of reference, we do have 3 meetings a quarter. These are the 3 main meetings. We have the Talent Pipeline Committee, which we're in now, followed by the quarterly meeting. And in that quarterly meeting, it is a 2-hour. In fact, I've been in communication with one of our guest speakers, fantastic guest speakers. It's going to be an exciting meeting as well. This person, is going to be talking about a few important parts about kind of microaggressions in healthcare and really the way that some of our workers are experiencing some of that work. So it's going to be a great discussion. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, of course, after the quarterly meeting, then we have a support partner meeting. And this is really geared towards support partner meetings for us to talk about what we hear at the quarterly meeting. Because one of the things about this type of network is that industry is at the center and support partners are around industry. So industry helps set the agenda, industry carries up the initiatives, industry kind of come up with a lot of other important aspects. And as support partners, we're there to kind of help respond to industry and really partner together to ensure that industry has what they need to continue going on. The reason we do that is because industry supplies the jobs that we want for our communities and the communities that we serve, right? So in my organization, we work with a lot of unique underserved communities, and those open those opportunities and doors for them regarding stable employment, insurance and educational benefits as well. So really want to invite you to come to those. In fact, quarter 1 are all up on the website. And don't forget, HILT Thursdays, all of our main meetings are on Thursdays. So I will turn it back over to Angie and any of the other HILT captains for any additional comments as we begin to close out. Angie, I'll turn this back over to you.
All right, thanks, James, and thanks, everyone. What an amazing, robust conversation today. I'm super excited to see what comes out, from all of these ideas and how we can augment and make our event even more successful and exciting than it was last year, which is going to be hard to beat. So really excited for that. And I just wanted to thank everyone for being here and being part of this specific group when it comes to building our talent pipeline. And then hopefully, if you haven't had the opportunity to join the broader HILT network and be involved in those meetings, hope that you are. And I just went on LinkedIn and found the group under James's profile. You got to scroll down, go to groups, you can find it and join the group. So anyway, another another pitch for that, so that we can all stay connected in any way possible. So just thank you again. Looking forward to future meetings, and I will open it up to Denise or Marita or Denise or anybody else who wants to give any final words.
I don't have any final words.
Okay. All right. We all just really appreciate everyone being here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and then just kind of to close, thank you, Angie, for those kind words. Just to close, any questions, anything else for us to, address or consider or anything else? And if you have any additional, ideas that come up even after the meeting, by all means, shoot Tatiana and I an email. Tatiana and I do converse regularly. I would say every day, but maybe not every day, but it's going to be every day, I think, as the event comes closer. The event is coming up. I mean, if I had a countdown, it's going to be in less than 60 days. So that, I mean, it's like, whoa, I know. Nora and I are both like, oh my God. But lots of moving parts. It's all coming together. And once again, none of this is possible without your support. So really want to thank you for joining us today. And we'll give you 10 minutes back of your day. And thank you, everybody. And have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and be safe.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.